From the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications, your home for the latest Marshall University news and sports, you're watching MU Report.
Good afternoon and welcome to MU Report, a student-produced newscast of the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications. I'm Kyra Biscarner.
And I'm Adam Stevens. We gather stories with a focus around Marshall University, and we bring those stories to you on YouTube, West Virginia Public Broadcasting, and Network West Virginia. We share the air with 3 other West Virginia journalism programs producing newscasts, and we're glad you're here. Now on to our top story.
Marshall University says the budget crisis affecting the state so drastically is also hurting higher education and the students Marshall serves. President Jerome Gilbert says a 9% tuition increase did in fact cover most of the hole lawmakers left earlier this year. The president says Marshall now has to address how to pay for higher education in West Virginia going forward.
It's hard to spot the effects of money troubles outwardly on campus, but Marshall says it's faced with a stark reality. A decline in enrollment that costs the university money at a time when it can least afford it. It's why President Jerome Gilbert says the first way out of the mess is to increase the number of students who come here for their education.
We have to start looking at new ways to recruit and new places to recruit and new ideas, and I'm open to anything that anyone can come up with.
During the fall general faculty meeting, Gilbert explained enrollment was not the only solution, but adding students is the best, fastest, and the least painful way of making do as the state continues to cut funding for all of higher education.
Our university to believe that growth in enrollment is good for the whole university, and I want them to be engaged in helping us grow the enrollment, because that's the only way we can really grow the resources that we need to make Marshall a better place.
Students say even if you're not a math major, you know that declining numbers are not the direction Marshall needs to go to keep paying the bills and providing those who are here with the best education possible.
If you are going to be increasing tuition, then the least you could do is offer more as opposed to taking and giving us less.
Marshall leaders say the recent tuition increase eased the strain for the time being, but administrators are quick to point out that this is not a long-term goal, as doing so would make higher education that's already expensive even more out of reach. Kyra Biscarner, MU Report.
There are a lot of changes that result from the tighter budget cuts from the state this round, are on top of many others. Making matters worse, the president says Marshall's freshman enrollment could be down to about 1,800 from about 2,000. That's about 10%. It's important to note the president says overall enrollment is likely stagnant and neither sharply down nor sharply up.
As mentioned, the tuition increase actually helped Marshall avoid a more serious situation. But every Marshall student says the hike was painful and difficult. As Matt Groves reports, the obvious effects of that 9% jump are out there for everyone to hear.
Students say tuition increases this year have actually made the difference in many cases between going to school or staying out to work.
There's kids that can't really go to school already, and with the tuition raise, they now really can't go, or I know a couple people that had to drop out completely because of the tuition raise. So I think it's really unfair.
The ones who are here say they are fortunate, but many say they're working more and studying less just to pay to be here.
I mean, I understand why it happens, because obviously they're in the business of making money, but at the same time, I think it sucks and it's not fair for us.
I do think for maybe sophomores, juniors, seniors that have been here for a few years, that I can definitely see how it feels that the university is kind of taking it out from under them a little bit.
Marshall says the tuition increase the Board of Governors reluctantly approved last summer was nearly do or die. Marshall says the state legislature cut so much, the increase was the only reliable place to make up the difference.
We work really, really hard to get our scholarships and whatever, and then finally we get to come and we have to pay out the wazoo to get an education. I feel like it's pretty ridiculous, to be completely honest.
Recruiters and staff charged with promoting Marshall as an affordable alternative to other colleges say they remain concerned about the steep increases this fall. Matthew Groves, MU Report.
Before most students can even think about class, They have to first figure out where to park. At least commuters have to, that is. And the fall term started with the predictable parking rush that resulted in headaches.
Parking on campus, close doesn't always mean convenient.
They need to provide adequate parking, which they don't.
The closest and most convenient place to park is the lot behind the engineering complex. However, most mornings, students spend 10, 15, even 20 minutes circling the lot like vultures to simply find a place to park.
It's usually virtually impossible to find one. It's a fight for a spot, really.
Despite its convenient location, this parking lot's lack of space often leads to students being late for class.
I always try to park in this parking lot because it's the only one that's really convenient to any of my classes. And I've spent 20 minutes trying to park here before and not found anything and had to park at the rec and then been late to my class because of it.
I even dealt with it today. I just came back from lunch trying to find a spot, and it took me about maybe 15 minutes to find a spot just to, park and get to my other class.
Some students say they may have to start parking further away from campus just to find an open spot.
If it's going to be like that, then I'll just park somewhere else and walk.
For students who want both close and convenient, parking here at the 3rd Avenue Garage is an option. However, the price to park here is double the price of surface parking. Marshall's parking office says contrary to popular belief, there are enough spaces, but students must accept parking farther away than they'd prefer. An MU report will bring you more on that story later this term.
Before you can worry about where to put the car, you have to be legal to drive it. As Ryan Murphy reports, for international students struggling to adjust to life in West Virginia, something as essential as getting around in their new community can prove to be a bump in the road.
A new year, a new school, and a new country. Adjusting to not only a new community but also a new life can prove difficult for international students, especially ones without a driver's license.
Students who don't have their license or any access to public transportation on a regular basis, that's a difficulty for them. Having their license and a car and access to that, that would even make just going to the grocery store easier.
Jones from Into Marsh University is extending a lifeline to international students by guiding them through the various steps they need to take to get behind the wheel and out on the road.
You have your state driver's license
plus ID
from home?
Yep.
Okay, but not from here?
Yeah, not from
Okay, yeah. They have to get special forms from the university. They have to bring their documentation, like their I-20 and their visa. And they just seem like they have to go through a lot more steps to be able to take the driver's test and get the license than necessarily I would.
International students Abhishek and David Ross say they want a driver's license so they can ease stress and make life at Marshall much easier to enjoy.
Yeah, it helps in adjusting my way. I can buy a car so that I can drive. If I have a license, I can drive, and moreover, I need not carry my passport everywhere. So I need to show my age legally to buy some stuff. So for that, I need ID proof, driving license as my ID proof.
I want to purchase a car for myself. It is making it very hard for me to drive a car here. So that's the main reason I wanted a DMV license.
Jones says he's willing to help any international students on the road towards getting their driver's license. Ryan Murphy, MU Report.
Any international student with questions on how to get a U.S. driver's license can contact the Into office. And Jones says, remember, the United States drives on the right side of the road, just in case the newcomer is used to the other lane.
We need to take a quick commercial break, but there's still more to cover in the first edition of MU Report when we come back.
For 175 years, Marshall University has served students who appreciate the value of higher education and its importance to quality of life. From pharmacy to philosophy, from biotechnology to business, Marshall is opening new worlds of opportunity for those seeking to make a difference. We are strong, we are growing, and together we are Marshall.
MU Report is back. I'm Kyra Biscarner.
And I'm Adam Stevens. Chili Fest has taken off as a Huntington tradition to get people together with some great food and a great cause. Courtney Andrews reports that because Marshall students were back in town, many of them joined in too.
The breeze blowing through downtown Huntington did not cool the heat of the chili at Chili Fest. Over 20,000 people enjoyed some chili while also benefiting a good cause. The 33rd Annual Chili Fest aids the Ronald McDonald House Charities of the Tri-State.
The Chili Fest is a great thing for our community. Not only does it help the Ronald McDonald House and the families that it serves, but it gives people a chance to come out, spend some time in downtown Huntington.
Chili wasn't the only attraction at Chili Fest. There was live music, as well as bouncy houses and crafts for kids.
The live music was really cool. It gave us something to do besides just trying out all the chilies.
There were many different cooks making chili, some in hopes of winning Chili Fest to advance on to represent West Virginia at the ICS World Chili Championship, while others were just there to support a good cause.
We're here to support our community, the Ronald McDonald House, and serve some good chili.
There was something to do for people of all ages this Chili Fest, so no one was left out in the cold. Courtney Andrews, MU Report.
If you missed who won the best chili of the event, the winners are all posted online at chilifestwv.com.
And finally on MU Report, the 8th Annual Huntington Music and Arts Festival ended August for Marshall students and the surrounding area. It's privately organized, but as Eric Woods reports, Marshall's influence is everywhere at the event.
The 8th Annual Huntington Music and Arts Festival consisted of 7 days of events that culminated in a day-long concert with 25 musical acts taking the stage. While many different entities worked together to bring this festival to life, Marshall University played no small role in the event, and its presence was most clearly seen through its students, who were not just on the stage playing music, but also they sold artwork and crafts at the concert.
I am a vendor. I'm selling some prints and stickers and art of sorts. I'm also performing with my band, The Dividends.
I've got a shirt here. It's based off of 4 different military diagrams. One on how to identify a coral snake, one on how to break down an AK-47, one on how to make a small explosive, and another on how to make snare traps.
We do a thing where he takes photographs and I do printmaking, so you can see behind me there's some handmade paper that we printed his photographs on.
Jeannie Harrison was there with the Marshall University Sustainability Department to assist with recycling.
Yeah, so Marshall University's Sustainability Department has a few presences here at the Music and Arts Festival. We have set up trash bins, recycling bins, and even compost bins around to encourage people to recycle. I think this is the first year we've done this. So you can even compost food, and then we can reuse it in our student gardens.
As you can see, Marshall University has played an integral role in the Huntington Music and Arts Festival. From the arts to the music, even into the recycling part of it, Marshall has an invaluable presence in the Huntington community. Eric Woods, MU Report.
The festival will return next year with even more diverse acts. And that's all the time we have for this first edition of MU Report. This broadcast is available on YouTube, and you can also catch it on both Network West Virginia and a re-airing on West Virginia Public Broadcasting Monday afternoon. We are the broadcast journalism students in the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications. Our executive producer is Dr. Christopher Swindell, and you can direct questions about our newscast to him at swindell@marshall.edu. I'm Kyra Biscarner.
And I'm Adam Stevens. Thanks for watching and have a terrific day.